today?
Sorry, we're having a conversation.
Like I said, we give it Chatty Cathy's to, join in here. We're going to have a great meeting. You guys, this is, who in here has a consumer goods company? Awesome.
Yeah, baby.
I love it. You will.
I will.
We have got people at all stages of the game right here, and this is going to be really fun because we are going to talk about what we have done with our businesses, and this is meant to be a roundtable discussion. There's no table, but we are having a round discussion, and it does encompass all of you too. So there will be parts of this where we want to incorporate everyone's feedback in this because we do want to respond to questions both dumb and wise, and because there really aren't many dumb questions. In fact, I have found here at the iHub that generally every question that ever gets asked is also asked by at least 8 out of 10 of the other people around that person that asked it. And so there are no dumb questions. There are no perfect responses by any of us. I don't think any of us know perfectly how we do our businesses, but well enough that we've all had significant growth and we've seen what happens when things connect and the dots connect the right way in building a consumer products good. So with that being said, we'll do some quick intros. I'm Todd Westra. I'm part of the iHub team. We are trying to really encourage batching of companies types like this here at iHub. So we've invited a lot of the CPG companies that are starting and growing and building at iHub to be here today to listen in to other companies that have been part of the iHub or not part of the iHub, but have built and grown CPG companies. And so that is the focus and the goal today. Is just to tap into a conversation about CPG. My CPG experience goes back into the early 2000s. I ran and operated a diet supplement company from 2009 to 2018, 19-ish. And we did several $100 million of sales. It was an amazing program. We did lots and lots of ads, lots and lots of Facebook groups, and lots of things that worked at that moment in time, which aren't super relevant today, but somewhat relevant today. And so that's my experience. Let's jump it over here to Christine.
Me. Hey everybody, I'm K-Dub. I'm Christine Woodfelt. I prefer K-Dub, so please call me that. That'll let me know we're friends. I've been in CPG for about 20 years. I've had 4 exits. My last exit was of a high-end DIY brand. Corbin Church was actually one of my investors. He got a lot richer than I did out of the exit, which is totally fine. Everybody wins. We exited to private equity in 2021 on a valuation of $88 million. My is consumer packaged goods for women. I believe women hold the wallet of the world. So I'm really bullish on direct-to-consumer e-com for women or women-influenced products. I've done everything from DIY home decor to fashion accessories to makeup to supplements, all kinds of things in between. I love things that are subscription-driven. I'm big into managing and figuring out strategy behind subscriptions and loyalty and retention programs and pricing analysis.
Love it. Awesome. Thank you.
Sweet. So I'm Whitney. We're on a company called Magnetic Hair Design. Me and my husband created it. So we have created magnetic hair extensions, and that's what we do full time. I'm a licensed cosmetologist at 16 years, so that's background a little bit. And yeah, it's been going really, really good. We're just in this scaling phase, more or less just starting out the scaling phase. So probably one of the younger companies in this group, maybe, I don't know. You're killing it. I know that. So, but yeah, a little bit about it.
Are you wearing your products right now?
Yeah, I'm wearing your product, my product right now. It's not the first side out there. I'm probably wearing connections. You can put it in out yourself, stylist for them. And yeah, it's been going really good. Like our main focus is the TikTok shop, and that's where I would say we're really seeing things pick up. But we are looking to expand outside of TikTok to other platforms. We've had some organic stuff from like YouTube creators and things like that that have really done well. So that's great. But that's a little bit about it.
And where's your checkout link? You gave a little promo.
Yeah, I can show you a little bit.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
All right. Take it out. You're going to put really fast. You can see they don't budge at all. They're in a really secure. I put a part like this, and they come right out.
No way.
And then you put them in, slide it apart, and they're I don't know, a half-inch or 1/4 inch thick. Place one underneath and one on top, and then they're good. And they will also just hold and flip with your hair. So that's how fast and simple it is.
Whitney,
They're very simple.
where do I buy? Where do I buy?
Yes.
Trey, you're gonna there. We can come over. Hey, and while Cutler's doing his intro, be aware we do have a QR code. We'd like to know who is here so that we can follow up with any recordings and anything about this thing. So go ahead and scan that while Cutler's giving an intro. Bring it on, brother.
I'm Cutler. We also are pretty new, but we do prostate with something called Stream, or called Slow. And all of our ads that we do is just sold through Meta. We're just now starting to get on Amazon, but it's mostly all just paid ads. It's here on Facebook.
I love it. Okay, so I think it would be so fun to talk about product build. Christine, you know as well as I do, like if the product isn't matched up right, it is not going to work. It's not going to sell right. So what goes into it for you because you're jumping in with the code right now and helping kind of modify how that pricing model looks and the product packaging and the whole. What do you think of first when you think I want to go big with this? What do you answer first?
These are like Sunday school answers. Sorry,
No,
this sounds so generic, but I think it is something we overlook all the time, and that is of like a relentless focus on your ICP, especially if it's not you. Because sometimes I think as founders, we get really close to our brand and we forget that we might not be the buyer for our brand. And so really figuring out who that ICP is. And a lot of the founders that I work with and a lot of the companies that I've worked with were way too generic. We're like, our ICP is moms who are busy. And you're like, that's way too broad. Like, what kind of education do they have? Do they live in the South? What kind of disposable income do they have? How many kids do they have? How old are their kids? Because if you're not getting super specific, should I get that? Should I hold that? Should I hold this?
Maybe. I bet.
Okay, I will hold this. But I think getting way more specific with your ICP, and people get nervous. They're like, but then I'm going to cut out a whole bunch of my market. If I'm focused on women who are 25 to 32 who have this kind of disposable, what about the 33-year-old woman or the 18-year-old woman? It is a game of exclusion. And if you want to get big, you have to go small. And I think everybody messes that up. And then they start putting out ads and they're not speaking directly. Like, Cutler, I think you know exactly who your customer is. And as hot as you are, you're not the customer.
Whoa.
And so it's true.
We just went there.
But he knows, but you have to know who that person is and then speak to them and only them. And so I think going small to get big is a big thing.
I think ICP is a huge deal. How many of you feel really comfortable with your ICP right now? Okay.
Oh, sorry. Ideal customer profile. Who is your ideal persona and buyer? And in an ideal, you can have more than one. Don't have 10. Your messaging will be all over the place.
Right.
If you have one or two or maybe three, and you can even name them. At Chakator, the business that we sold in 2021, the DIY home decor company, we had a few, and we had avatars for them, and we were really dialed into who they were. Realtor Renee, Teacher Tammy. Like, I knew who these people were. They had a name. Teacher Tammy lived in Plano, Texas. She was 38 years old. She had 2 kids. She had graduated from TCU. Like, we knew who she was. And every ad that we put out for Teacher Tammy, like, spoke to her. It wasn't just like, we're looking for women who like farmhouse decor. Like, it was just way too broad.
Teacher Tammy. I love
Teacher
that.
Tammy.
Now, Cutler, you and I had an interesting focus session not too long ago about ICP and also about how to message your ICP. What kind of changes, like, where did you start with that? And because you could generally say all men over 40, like we just said, but what did you do to refine that? And what changes did you actually make in your marketing to like reflect a higher conversion rate?
Probably one of the biggest changes that I made was figuring out where they are in the levels of sophistication, which there's like 5 different levels. I mean, like she said, just like getting so specific, but one of the aspects that I started really implementing was levels of sophistication, and that's how many times your customer has heard or been exposed to products like yours. And if it's depending on where they're at in that, depends on how you message them. So for me, and this is what I was doing wrong for so long, and as soon as I switched it, it was like a switch. Like it changed everything. Like level 1, it's like they've never really heard of, like it's very innovative, probably something like yours, like magnetic hair extensions. Like you could say that, and it's like you don't have to be super go into detail or like comparison. But then there's like level 2, and that's just like they've heard some brands, and so you just have to make your claims. Like in my case, instead of because prostate health, like they're waking up multiple times a night. Instead of that, it's just a bolder claim like sleep through the night in 30 days or your money back. But once like they've heard that, like they've been exposed to that so many times, then no matter what you say, like how bold of a claim, they just don't care. And that's where my customer was. Like they just don't, like I could say all the benefits in the world, they just don't care because they don't believe it. Or there's just so many competitors. So now I changed my whole marketing to how we promise results, which is basically through like how our product's differentiated. And so now I don't even leave the benefits on my product. It's all just like, this is why everything else didn't work, and this is why ours. And so, because they've been burned by like 3-5 different supplements that didn't work, and so that was probably one of the biggest things was knowing, like, okay, how do I actually approach this
Each
in terms?
pain point?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you're talking, you're differentiating by pain point and what they've already heard and what they've already tried,
Yeah,
and why it didn't work and why yours does.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, interesting. Whitney, now you've got some crazy, interesting pain points because you're dealing with who are your primary avatars? Like, what are you going after? It's not just all women, or is it?
Well, it's hard to say exactly because it is kind of broad in the sense of we are the only ones worldwide doing what we do. We've created a new product for the whole everyone. And it's funny because when we were creating the product, we were creating for the masses. Like I am purposely trying to convert everyone from either a permanent extension or another clip-in or halo, which clip-ins are the most popular. They take about half the worldwide market, and
Wow.
that's where we tap in, and we're planning to take over all of them.
Okay.
And we want to steal people from the permanent extension world as well. So, which we do. And so it's great, but it's hard to narrow down the exact. I'm seeing a lot of older women, and a lot of this has come through just validation stuff and seeing who's buying and what, who's showing up on my lives, who's asking the most questions, who am I getting emails from, and it's helping me narrow down who my avatars are. I feel like we're just starting to get more clear, like kind of now being like, all right, we're actually seeing a lot more older women in the age range of 45 to 60 that are like really hot buyers.
Right.
Because they're usually losing hair, they're going through menopause or whatever it is, and it's like a very sensitive topic. And so that's a big buyer for us. So we're actually starting to like narrow down, like, okay, we need an older woman live seller. We need older women UGC content creators, things
Right.
like that. So we're hitting those people. But then we also have the young girls that are getting married and, girls that are just completely dependent on hair extensions and whatever. So we're creating these avatars actually kind of right now and realizing like where the few holes are, where our product maybe isn't ideal for someone. Like maybe someone is really, really thin on top and they're going to just need a topper or a wig, like realistically.
Right.
And our product's not ideal for them. So we're actually starting to turn our marketing away from
That's great.
being not to everyone, but we're going to narrow down to who this is perfect for and start having our messaging speak specifically to those people. But I feel like it's kind of taken some testing to know exactly your really niche avatars rather than just being like, well, we're a new product worldwide. We can really hit everyone. It's like, well, maybe you could narrow that down a bit. And I've like heard things about your product that you've done, like your avatars and like direct like advertising to those people to like web pages or something like that. Is that right? Anyway, so I'm like, oh, that's really interesting. Like we'll have to maybe dabble in that.
Yes.
But anyway, so that's exactly where we're kind of at with it.
Okay, and you've got a very unique marketing style. I mean, you're not necessarily like Weird Cutler's doing ads.
Yeah.
You're doing mostly TikTok.
Yeah, mostly TikTok at the moment.
Will you just quickly describe what you're doing while you got the mic? Because like
Yeah.
you are such a unique seller in the whole circle here.
Yeah.
Explain how you're selling your product?
Literally, it's come a lot. Well, here's the thing. The product pretty much sells itself, which is really convenient. So we were just doing like trade shows for a while there, and then we started jumping onto TikTok lives because we're like, oh, let's see how this goes. And we realized, holy crap, this is like going really well. We started selling, we were in the top 1% of all of TikTok, like within our first like 2 lives, which was nuts for like click-through rates and things like that, which is crazy. And so, yeah, so like a TikTok live is like, I mean, I'm hopping on in my bathroom more or less and taking the product out of my hair and showing the 33 different color options and helping people color match their hair on the spot, which is really great. I will say like TikTok shop is like really awesome if you have a consumer product, especially if there's education around it. It's like really important, I think, that you are doing lives because it's a great tool to educate on the spot and answer questions on the spot. And if you are a new product to the industry or the world, I think it's crucial you're on lives to showcase that. We're dabbling into ad spend right now. We've never really done ad spend, and just this last week we did $61 to ad spend just for funsies over like 5 or 4 videos, and we made like $6,500 off those, like that $61, which was
Is
like
that right?
Yeah. So it's like a great return on investment. I'm like, wow, that was really nice. What if we put $1,000 to that, or 10,000 or whatever? But it's just like we're just starting to actually dabble into the ads. That's why I'm like, oh, this is interesting because mainly TikTok lives have been our thing, and TikTok headquarters reached out to us to do lives on their channel as well, and like fly us out to LA, and they do like, I mean, they can do like $1 million in sales in like 5 hours, which is crazy.
Right.
So there's a lot. If you start popping off on TikTok shop, like headquarters can get involved and they can really help scale you very, very quickly, which is very appealing.
That's awesome. And I know a lot of you guys in here have really not dabbled with TikTok shops. I mean, how many of you think you have a product that could benefit just by demoing your stuff? A lot of people. What does? Everybody. You're not joking.
Yes.
Great is you can like their affiliate center is built out, so you can like reach out to creators. It's all commission based. Well, it's mostly commission based, and you can automate reaching out to all these creators, and they're incentivized. It's a more targeted way to seed, and you're
right.
Crossing your fingers, hoping that the post.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it? I mean, and the easier it is to buy on your TikTok shop, the better it's going to go, obviously. But yeah, Trey.
Oh, gosh, I don't know. Yeah, for sure.
3 years, I'm seeing in the back.
Before like cheap stuff, they're really scaled up. Like they're taking on Amazon right now.
Right.
So like $1,500 couches are sold, and like Yeti and big brands are all moving on.
So TikTok top is going crazy, but without a foundation of a buy page and ads, explain what happens with that.
Can I, before I answer that question,
please.
I just want to say, like, everything works on TikTok Shop. I would agree with that, but I also think, I've talked to a couple of you here about this. If you're looking to refine your product, or you're still not sure what your product is, I love something that follows this 3-legged stool that is unique, consumable, and demonstrable. And that's where that's why you're killing it. The product that we sold at Chakatur, my last brand, now I'm at Cove, but if you can show people what it is they're buying, it's so much better than a static web page. So I can go to your website and I might be able to find a video or whatever else. But the beautiful thing about we started with Facebook Live. Whatnot is, if you sold on Whatnot, Whatnot's really helpful too, because it's all about live selling. So if you've got a product that is inherently demonstrable, meaning you can show how it works in 15 seconds or less, and people have an aha, like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. I just watched you put a hair clip in. We sold a silk screen transfer and it dries immediately. So people make a t-shirt or artwork or whatever else, or do it on their arm and it made fake tattoos or whatever else. And you can do it in 15 seconds. That's like TikTok shop gold. So think about that, like not just a video that I might make about the product, but a video where I can show, or an online selling tool where I can show the product in use. And yes,
You can, a number of supplement companies watch people popping a pill and swallowing it. Like that's a demonstration.
That's enough.
It is enough. But it's got to be able to do something. It's got to be able to walk and talk.
I think that the key thing in any of these products, and probably most of yours, is people need to understand that they have a problem, and that problem needs to be solved. And here's how I solve it. And literally all products, every consumer good product in the world that has made anything happen does that storytelling. And so if you don't appropriately explain the problem, people are less likely to buy. Now, this gets you into a whole new channel, because understanding who your avatar is or your ICP, it is a matter of tracking. Now, I am willing to bet that all four of us use different CRMs. Does CRM brand make a difference? Or is it how you structure your CRM? Will you speak briefly about how you structure so that you can track appropriately?
A while ago, I think it was MailChimp had an ad that talked about don't email a customer. Do you remember that? When they talked about and I thought that was hilarious that instead of calling them customers, they said our problem is customers. And I think we still do that. We're getting better and better about that. But there are some amazing tools that incorporate AI that allow you to deeply personalize. So we used to even segment our customers, yes, right? But even then, we were kind of still looking at smaller clusters. And now we really can speak just to Cutler. We can speak just to Whitney. We can speak just to Christine. Like there is no reason that if somebody fills out a form on your website or abandons a cart, that you can't reach out to them with a completely personalized response that nudges them. And so first of all, I think a lot of CRMs do the same basic thing. Can I say don't use HubSpot? Really don't need to use that, especially don't use HubSpot for your consumer brand.
I don't mind you saying that.
HubSpot's amazing if you are a SaaS company or if you're a B2B company and you have a lot to manage. But personally, I think there are way cheaper to even free options that you can use in a CRM. And the biggest thing is an integration of AI. When you reach out to your customer, it sounds like I love consumer brands that talk like they're founded by real human beings and that have a little bit of whimsy, and you get to know your customer a little bit better. And you can't do that if you're sending out like, dear customer, thank you for your purchase, or hurry up and follow up. There are things waiting in your cart. Like none of that feels real.
Have you guys ever received a dear customer
all the time
without your name?
It sucks. It's bad business, especially as an e-com brand.
What are you guys' thoughts on your CRM platforms, and what are you guys using?
Yeah,
you just have your Shopify.
We will get there.
Okay.
Which I don't think you should use anything but Shopify until you're doing like $500,000 a month. Like why? It's like shooting a rabbit with an elephant gun. Why?
Planning to build isn't that what you're thinking?
I like
Yeah.
Vibe coder in the works. There you go. All right, Cutler. What do you?
I also use Shopify.
Awesome.
I don't really. That's maybe something I just don't even know, like what the benefits past Shopify would be. Maybe you could tell me. I don't know.
I mean, I'll tell you. Like for us, think of diet pill supplements. Think of all the avatars that we had. I mean, it was male, female, anyone overweight. They wanted a pill that would solve their problem. There's a little bit of, we did a lot of segmenting. We ran on a daily basis at least 40 different ad types. And every 40 ad type went to a separate specific landing page, an offer page that matched our ad. And so we had ads that we were paying for that would send people to an offer page that was specific to the ad. And it's something that Cutler and I worked on quite a bit is don't run an ad to a generic offer page. Run an ad to a very specific targeted page that matches the messaging of that ad. So if you're saying lose weight for the beach this summer, and it sends them to a page with someone in a jacket and they're skiing, it's so not relevant to them. So they don't buy. So matching the ad to the language and copy of the offer page is significantly important. And you can run multiple ads to one offer page, but just make sure they are relevant. And a CRM, for me, meant that I could host multiple offer pages, and I could have, like I said, at any given time, 40 to 50 different offer pages, all just by segmenting them with the / whatever the offer, the ad copy was that day.
Okay, yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, you can do it in Shopify, but we
Yeah.
use that in a CRM. It was custom. Yeah, it was very custom, and it was honestly, it was so dirty. My team literally every offer page would disappear after like 30 minutes, and so the offer was live, and they would click on it. It would regenerate the new offer page, and then that offer page would delete after 30 minutes. After they clicked it once, and then it would send them to another page that was different for the different offer. Like we were very like my team was super technical, and but we were always testing. We'd have one constant per week, and then we would change every other ad to find out what was working better and what was clicking through. But it was amazing. And then you get lucky where we had Dr. Oz on Oprah Winfrey one day, and Dr. Oz literally just said, "This is a miracle weight loss pill," and he said our primary ingredient. And we went from about $10,000 a day in sales to over $100,000 a day just in that one episode. And then he replayed that. I have a funny feeling Dr. Oz ran some of his own companies. And every time he ran that, we increased by over $100,000 a day. It was nuts. But we were able to catch up with it because we had a good, solid system in the back end. And this is probably pre-Shopify.
Yeah.
So anyway, you had a comment.
Well, I had a question. Did you say moving forward, is that for like email, like outreach? Because like TikTok they've got GB Max, where it's like we will take your videos, we will find out who these will be. And my understanding, Meta's also moving to that, so you have really little to no controls. Just here's a UGC video ad or whatever, and they're like, we will figure this out.
Well, UGC is different because if your users are providing, they're building the content. I mean, they know who to match it up to, right? But if you don't have multiple offer page types specific to the language that you're sending out, you just lose conversion. Color, what happened when you started matching the copy?
That was like probably one of the biggest unlocks.
Explain it.
So we basically now every time I make an ad, it's basically like a sub avatar. So I have like my main avatar, but I have all these sub avatars of like the guy who's taking prescription meds and he hates all the side effects, and I'll make like a bunch of ads towards those, and then I'll send them to one landing page that, like you said, you're so tired of prescription meds, everything's about that, and then I'll have another one of, I don't know, you've tried saw palmetto, all these ingredients, and they didn't work. Another landing page for that.
And it specifically calls things out, right?
Yeah. It's like a specific thing that person has went through. Or I'll just like spray a ton of ads out, and then that are different segments, and then they'll go to kind of a general landing page. Like I have a default, like pre-sale page in that. And then whichever ad wins, I'm like, oh, that resonated the most. Now I'm going to take that, make a whole landing page out of it.
Perfect.
And it'll usually double.
You guys hearing that? That's voodoo magic right there.
That's
really, really smart stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So, Whitney, when you're doing TikTok and you don't have a very like, it sounds like your offer pages are like, what do your conversions look like? Are they just buying right off the TikTok, or how is that happening? Do you have page formula figured out for yourself, or what are you doing?
Yeah, so most of our buyers will buy on the spot, which is pretty bananas considering our product is like a $500 product. Like it's wild. So yeah, we get a lot of buyers right on the spot because lives have been our main thing. So we're just starting out ads, and that's obviously converting. So that's great. So we only have our one landing page right now, but actually I've heard about your story, and I was like, oh, we need to definitely start doing something that as well as we get more into this ad world to start doing very targeted ads. But that's why we just this last week we're like, let's throw like ad spend behind like 4 or 5 different videos, see how they perform. They're kind of all different, and let's just see how that works. And it was very obvious, like, okay, that UGC creator was good and this video was really good, okay, let's work with those. Anyway, but yeah, so our conversion is actually pretty high. I don't have the exact percentage on. Do you have the exact percentage at this moment? But it's pretty. But it's pretty good. Most people will buy, like I said, like right away, and unless we're sold out of our color, which is you're not going to go buy, if you're blonde, you're not going to buy a black set for funsies, like no
Probably
way,
not.
you know. And so that's the really hard part that we're getting to, is the inventory side of things, of just being like keeping up on the inventory that we need for all 33 colors and the different lengths and stuff like that. But as long as we have it in stock, it's a pretty quick turn.
Okay.
Yeah, at least from everything we've seen thus far. So
I love it. Now, speaking of, I want to switch topics here, but before I do, any other thoughts on ads, running ads to the right pages, and conversion process?
Other than that, it's a must. Like you can't not. I'm a huge believer in working with content creators, but it's a two-pronged approach. Like if you think you're going to grow with $0 in ad spend and just rely on your own organic or earned, or even just avoiding paid, it can't be done. And I think because you can start at $61, like it's ridiculously low risk. And if you can get a 10x ROAS immediately out of the gate, like we don't have to invest. And you don't have to be a genius to do it. I think all of us are like, let's try this, and you win or you learn, and hopefully both. And so, throw a couple $100 at it. It's not going to kill you, but the learning that you get is so super valuable. So I think advertise earlier rather than later, including, we were talking about this, advertising even as part of your validation. Like if you haven't nailed your ICP yet, you don't have to wait to know exactly what your perfect avatar is. Let the advertising be the cheapest way to confirm that. So you're like, I think it might be this. Throw $61 at it, and you'll get that feedback back, rather than like ruminating forever and doing focus groups or talking to all kinds of people about what do you think about this. Like spend $100 and find out.
So if you were to spend, I absolutely love that, and I couldn't help but think, like, if you were to set up a focus group and buy pizza for everyone that came in and had them show up and you just talked about it, it would cost you what? You get $1,000. $1,000. Okay. If you were to spend $1,000, Color, how much do you spend trying to determine which ad set you want to roll with?
Oh, I mean, probably maybe 300, 400.
So for $300, and you can do this multiple times a day, how many times a week do you do this?
Do what?
Tests like that.
Oh. I'll minimum launch 10, but the goal, I'll try to launch 20 ads. And usually that's anywhere between like two to three avatars.
I love it.
What ads are working best for you guys? Can we talk even about formats, like static versus carousel versus video? Like what hits for you, and the products that you sell?
So mine by far are the educational ones, because it's just a new product. People are like, what the heck is magnetic hair extensions? So anything that we're showing how the product functions, even more than before and afters, like just like showing like, oh, it doesn't damage your hair. This is how fast it is to put in and take out, things like that. Those are the ones that pop off for sure. Because if not, if before and after video or even picture or carousel or whatever is like, well, yeah, like it's hair extensions, duh, but what, like people could assume it's a clip-in right away. So showing the magnet, showing the details of why it's so different has been huge, and it like trumps everything, even on lives on our page, everywhere. It's educational.
I love it.
So
at what point, I'm curious, what point do you guys consider it's too expensive to run that ad set versus like, where do you measure your balance of this ad set keeps getting more and more expensive? Because it does. The minute you start dumping money into an ad set, it gets more and more expensive to buy, because you're kind of competing with yourself, buying up those AdWords. And so at what point do you decide I'm going to try a different ad set versus just leaning into the one that's been working for the last 3 weeks? Do you know, Color? Have you gotten to that point yet?
Yeah, that's all every single day. That's what I do. As soon as, so to know, I don't know if this answers your question. I think I understood it right. Tell me if I'm wrong. But as soon as an ad, whether an ad is good or not, I'd have to spend at least 3x what I'm willing to pay for a customer. So I'm willing, my CPA, what my cost per purchase, my target is around $40 to $50. And so to
And
know
tell
What's the
everybody
sale
what your
price?
sale price is. That's a good sale price.
my product costs $50. The average customer that goes to my website spends like $105. And so, but I want to get a customer at $40. And so that's my CPA, my target CPA, $40. And so as soon as an ad hits, and not an ad set, but an ad hits 3x my CPA or your CPA, that's when you know, okay, is this good or it's bad? And so if it's above $50, then I'll turn it off. If it's below, then I'll scale spend by 20%. And then I'll give it 3 days and I'll do the same thing. And as soon as it like hits about my target, then I'll just leave it alone. And then over like a month and a half, it'll usually die. Or sometimes like it'll stay longer.
I love it. So you're always iterating. You're always changing. How many of you guys have run, how many people have run ads out here for a specific targeted offer? Okay. And at what point do you like to give up? Like, is there a point where you're just like, holy crap, I can't spend any more money on that? Or what does the decision-making process look for you?
Genuinely, with the product that I was running, it was when it was about breaking even.
Okay.
It was at that point that we started looking and saying, we need to change, or else we're going to be in the negative. That was kind of, it was not nearly as sophisticated as what you were looking at.
I love it. Anyone else have a breaking point where they feel like, oh crap, I'm done with that ad? We would on our diet pills, we would stop at our average sale price was about $120, and we would stop at an average sale price of about 97. And 97 felt like it was really like there was so little margin in there, because then we still had to do that was our cost for the ad. We still had a product price on top of that. And believe it or not, we were still able to like eke out break even. But what we ended up doing after that was bump sales. And I don't know how relevant that even is today, but a bump sale, everyone know what a bump sale is?
No.
You've probably all bought one. You've probably gotten to a checkout page and then it says, but wait, there's more. Did you know you could buy this for $30 and get $100 worth of product for $30? That's where the magic happened for us. And so we could be as slim as really like $6 to $10 we were netting on each of those original sales. But then the bump sales hit and we averaged a 45% conversion on at least a $50 upsell. And so we made money that way. So have you guys ever bumped into issues with your products kind of feeling like, holy crap, my ad's not working. What do I do next? And what did you do about it?
Yeah, all the time. And so you have to know whether you are being patient and smart or patient and stupid. And I think that's hard. Sometimes that's hard to know. It's really hard to know, but you try to stick it out. Like I've tried to stick things out to understand what else is there. Are always a number of variables. So if an ad isn't working, that's the other beautiful thing. Like, it's not a real investment. It's not a billboard that you have to wait for a contract. Like you can change as you go and everything's so low. So for me, even if an ad stops performing, you can stop, drop, and roll at any time. But before we even go deeper into that, I want to double tap on something that Cutler said that I hope is for the good of the order. And that is, there are a couple of acronyms even beyond just your ad, if your ad is working or not, that I think are helpful stakes in the ground. One of them is AOV, your average order volume. You need to know what your customer spends on average at checkout. That's huge. So if there are a couple of things that if you're launching a CPG brand, know your AOV. What is your average order volume of checkout? Number 2, LTV. What is your lifetime value of your customer? Because when you hear Cutler say, it costs me $40 to acquire a customer and their average price is $10. If something in your brain didn't go, well, that doesn't sound great, but because lifetime value is huge.
Well, 100.
Oh, is it 100? Oh, sorry. I thought you said it was 50. So still you're like looking at once I acquire a customer, what's an appropriate thing? And that's the third thing is CAC or CPA. What's my customer acquisition cost? So what do they spend every time they check out, AOV? is it cost to acquire them, CAC or CPA, and then what's their lifetime value? Because their average order volume might not be $500. My average order volume was about $65, but and if I'm spending $50 to acquire you, which was about my average customer acquisition cost, it doesn't look like a very sexy business model. But if you know that my lifetime value, that I'm going to get them to come back and buy every 6 weeks, or if I can get them on a subscription plan, and if my lifetime value is $500, then I really only have a 10% customer acquisition cost because I'm paying $50 to acquire a $500 customer. And so that's what I'm always trying to think about too, is I'm sure you are too, is it's really different if you're selling a one and done product versus if you're selling something that they're going to need to replenish. I don't know what the lifespan is of your product, but if you want them to come back and they need to buy another in 6 months or in 3 months, that you know exactly when the product that they bought from you last, it's easiest if you're taking a pill a day or 2 pills a day, you know exactly when they run out. But knowing that helps you also message them at exactly the right time when they're starting to feel that pain point creep up, or when the product that they bought last is getting a little worn or whatever else.
Right.
And you're just right there with them for when they need you again.
I love that. And I think that something valuable that comes out of that is that when you know what your values are, and I think the reason you heard $10 is because he said he had a $40 cost of acquisition and then $50 product cost, and he sold it for $100.
So you have a 2X?
Oh, $5 product cost. You said 50. Yeah.
I thought you meant how much I sell it for, like my MSRP.
Oh, okay. No.
What's your MSRP? 50, but their average order volume is 100. They're buying 2.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. That's where because I heard the $10 as well.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So I was
product
like,
cost is $5. Yeah. If they buy 1 jar, because 25% of my customers buy 1. 50% of my customers buy 3.
Awesome.
And the other 25% buy 5 bottles.
And are you opting them into a reorder?
A subscription?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That's where the magic happens as well.
For sure.
Will you talk to us about when you start seeing your daily sales start adding up into rebill sales? How do you prepare for that? What do you do in terms of inventory, in terms of product? Like, how are you mapping that? And what are you using to track that? Or are you?
I don't know if you want to talk to me about inventory because I am out of inventory.
Oh, out of inventory.
And
What's your recovery time?
well, it's 12 weeks. Is how long they're like, hey, give me 12 weeks to put in an order. I can speed it up, get it to like 8. Right now I'm like a week out, but I've been for the last 2-3 weeks out of inventory.
Gotcha.
So
Whitney knows this problem as well.
Very well.
Will you share inventory problems?
A blonde to buy dark hair, so you can't switch them to another product.
Whitney, will you just speak to that?
Yeah.
I know that when you're just testing the product and you were trying to figure it out, you were like, buy inventory, do a TikTok live, and you were sold out.
Yeah.
And then you waited how long to get the next order in?
Well, we try to act pretty quickly on our orders. But the hardest thing is for a long time we were hand making all of our product. It's a very hard product to make, hence why I don't think you see anyone else on the inventory you're in the market doing it. Or I honestly don't think we're gonna have crazy amounts of competitors, because actually every person in China in the hair industry world turned us down and said, we won't even touch your product with the 10-foot pole and you can't pay us enough. And there's a lawsuit over our product in China of how hard it is to make because people ruin the hair from trying to make it. So we've had to get sourcing we had this miracle, literally like God-given miracle of finding the right person to put in place all the single parts of our product and put it into one warehouse. And then he's helped us create machinery to make our product now. But for a long time, it was hard to, even if we got hair in, it would still take such a long time to hand make every single product. And we'd have girls doing it, but it was just complicated. And we've had botched orders, $20,000 worth of just completely botched orders trying to find manufacturing. Anyway, but now we're to the point that manufacturing we do airship, but it's not that expensive for us at the moment. But it's about a 4 week turnaround, which isn't bad. But for
$2 per unit cost difference
To air it
versus
take it all day long,
which is great, especially
out of China.
Yeah. But Yeah, so but the inventory stuff has been a challenge, and we're still at that phase now, which is actually why we're even considering pulling in partners and investments and stuff, is because we just need to get ahead of things. We have so much opportunity at our doorstep with our product and our business, but the lack of inventory has been killing us, and just the time frame. And yeah,
one other thing to note is with TikTok, if you are doing TikTok,
yes,
they will track your numbers, and if you are lower on inventory, they won't push you as much.
Yes.
Ads won't go out as much.
So that's actually only why we only spent $61 last week on ads, is we actually had $1,000 that was supposed to go out towards testing these ads. But because we were so low on certain inventory, it's been purposely suppressing our ad spend.
So is TikTok doing your fulfillment?
No, we're doing our fulfillment, which also, if you go through TikTok, by the way, they're very much so competing with Amazon. So you have to have it fulfilled within a 2-day period. And so that's the other thing, is if you don't have inventory or whatever, I mean, they suppress you. There's certain violations that really do ping you on TikTok. Having lack of inventory does very much so affect your performance on TikTok.
I just have a question about TikTok Shop. If you have a product that is a subscription model and has a physical product, kind of like a subscription box that isn't sent out the moment that, like, it's sent out once a month.
Oh yeah.
To everyone. Does TikTok allow you to do that if you can't send it out immediately?
I'm not sure on subscription models, but from I don't know how that works exactly. You might have had my thought, because even for us, they were turning on a back end of headquarters, talk to us, and they're like, hey, because we anticipate you guys selling out on lives and stuff, we will open a thing where you can more or less pre-sell product and have it delivered within a 5-week period, but headquarters has to go on and turn that feature on for you. My thought with the subscription model would probably be that you would need to have the product that you could ship out within 2 days,
like a welcome product.
Yes, and then have them into a subscription. But I doubt that I don't know, I haven't looked into it, but they're really, really strict on you getting that product out within that time frame, or else it like really hurts you.
You have a shop score.
And if it dips below 4, like you have a shop score 5 is the highest. If you dip below 4, like your lives will dramatically be smaller. Like we had like 400 people on lives, and if our score ever dipped below, it was like 10 people on a live, and it was like, oh my gosh. And then you had to push ad spend behind to even get to 50 people on your live. Like it was just, it very much so affects you.
I think TikTok Shop, they now support subscriptions, but like if it's a subscription box, I wouldn't do it. Like like a normal subscription on your website where you have a product on hand.
They just sign up right then.
Yeah.
But I would consider having a very consistent welcome package that you sold, and then have them opt in on that delivery of getting the rebill of the monthly delivery.
Totally.
Yeah. Yeah, please.
Inventory.
Yeah.
One of the biggest problems for CPG startups is that cycle of sell big, stock out. It's that roller coaster. And I'll just ask Cutler, because I know you have one product versus like multiple colors. At what point do you get to financially, or maybe you've already thought about it, where you are going to order safety stock? Maybe your next PO is double and you hold back so you have some to kind of trickle into the gaps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have you started thinking about those things?
Yeah, that's before I just didn't know what I didn't know.
Okay.
And so now I've started to do that, where with my POs, I'll put like an extra month, like to last me like an extra half a month to a month. Like whatever I think I'm going to do, I'll get an extra month of stock. And now I just have Claude hook up to my Shopify. And because I only have one product, but I have so many SKUs of like 1 jar, 3 jar, 5 jar, 1 jar with this, like there's literally 10 SKUs, which is so little compared to you. I'm sure I'm sure yours is so much worse. But I just tell Claude, I'm like, every weekend, I'm like, hey, look at everything through my Shopify. Tell me if I need a reorder or not. And I have a skill built out where it'll like know what to do, exactly what to do, and look through everything. And it's like, you're close, but not yet. And I just do that every week.
Does it help you predict what the success of ads will be as they might translate to sales for forecasting?
Yeah. So I'll be like, hey, give me this if I'm going to grow 20%. Give me if I'm going to grow 40%. Give me if I'm going to grow 60%. And I'll say, give me each of these outcomes. And it'll like build out a whole thing within like seconds.
Can you put in POs based on some of those inputs?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And as long as I do it every week, which I was not doing before, that's why I'm out of stock, then I can be able to see like what worst and best case scenario is.
So talk to me about momentum, because if you're running out of stock, what does that do to your momentum as a brand, and or how do you recover from that? Because that's kind of painful.
I have a small take on that.
Yeah.
The SKU count that we ran in my last business, we'd have between 2,000 and 3,000 SKUs at any given time. So we're running out of stuff all the time. You're like spinning all these different plates and watching stuff come from China and whatever else. And we moved from, I call it make your weakness your uniqueness. And it's a way of saying like make lemonade, people. Because if you are talking about being out of stock, or they come to your website and half your stuff looks like it's out of stock, then it looks like you can't find your butt with both hands, and your customer, and you'll look Mickey Mouse. You will look smaller if things are out of stock for a long time. And so we would try to lean into things like doing an intentional drop or creating a demand list and creating a wait list. We didn't stop running ads. We weren't doing TikTok Shop, but we were doing whatnots. We were taking reservations for product, and we're taking wait lists for product. And when we moved to the idea of doing drops and creating urgency and talking about restocks, then people got excited, and they moved from being frustrated and mad and thinking that we were Mickey Mouse to thinking, oh my gosh, we became like a Stanley, like, oh my gosh, the latest hot pink Stanley is dropping. Everybody run to Target right now. And it moved from us just looking like we sucked into looking like we were super hot and in demand. And I know that small potatoes, it's hard to do. But we had to show up on social, even as the CEO of the company, to show up on social regularly and talk about it and keep being a hype man, rather than like your tendency is like, I just kind of want to hide and maybe people won't notice that I'm out of stock of my most popular product. That's when we got louder and got even more. And we like tooted our own horn about how awesome it was that we were out of stock, because we are the GOAT and you've got to get this product. That's why we're out of stock. And we didn't, behind the scenes, we'd be like, we totally screwed up on that PO. We did not plan for demand, but we never said that to customers. And so a lot of it is what you say out in the world. And then you can like wring your hands and cry yourself to sleep on your own, but don't put that kind of stuff out, and don't hide when you're out of stuff.
I love that. That is a great response.
Be a puffer fish, get bigger.
Whitney, how do you handle that? Because I know that's been one of your biggest challenges is inventory management.
Yeah, so it has been hard, and a lot of the times, like we're on a live, and people will hop in every live, be like, "Is my color back in stock yet?" And you're like, "Nope." And they're like, "When is it coming?" I'm like, 3 weeks, and then it'd be like 6 weeks, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, guys." Or we'd get it back in, and then it would be like we already have like a lot of it sold out, you know what I mean, or whatever. And then all of a sudden, like TikTok's suppressing you because you're sold out again so low of certain things, and then you're like, it's not even reaching, you know, which is annoying. So yeah, you know, we've kind of tried to do the same thing. It's like, it's not the worst thing in the world to look like you're out of stock to some extent, because then it's like, at least people know that there's like a demand. There's a reason to buy quickly, because like, hey, lots of times you're out within like a few days of restocking, but we're hopefully trying to not do that too much anymore. And then when we do, it has just been helpful to be really transparent with stuff, and people, and I have played the card of being like, we're sorry, we're smaller and we're just scaling and trying to figure it out. But I don't play that too much, but just like this little sprinkle, and people like give you grace. Someone was sorry.
Yeah.
So to save us time, those of us who haven't run TikTok Shop.
Yeah.
What is the best ways to learning this and cutting out the waste of time, waste of money spent? Like, where have you guys learned the best? Get the best education?
TikTok agency.
If we did it, and like, I'm sure that there are people here that are smart enough to be able to figure it out on their own. I don't know if we were.
Yeah.
So we went and got an agency, and I think personally for us, if we didn't,
I think it would have been really hard. So here's the thing though, you can get agencies that are like commission based only, which is nice if you're like starting out. There's a lot of different TikTok agencies. I would just talk to a bunch and see who you like and who seems legit. We had a networking something. Basically, we kind of got connected to these certain people, and they happen to just be like phenomenal and like awesome. And they only work with 7 companies, and because of that, they have tons of attention on us, which is super helpful. But there's a lot of good agencies. We do pay like a commission, but also like a monthly payment on top of that, just a little like a retainer. Exactly. So that's kind of how ours is structured, at least at the moment. But I honestly feel like I don't want to spend like hours a day trying to navigate why the freak my views dropped or whatever and what violations I'm hitting. And even if you mention your website, like it dings. Like if you mention it in a DM to someone because they're trying to they want to find your website. If you mention it, like ding. Like so many things that I would
Even
never
in
have
DMs?
thought. Yes. There's so many things that I would never.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's like one of those things that you just, there's so much that I would not have assumed would ding me that dinged you, you know, because they don't want anyone leaving their page at all. So anything that would lead anyone away from TikTok is like a big no-no. I will say, I think you should get on right away and just start playing with it because it's not going to hurt you necessarily. I mean, I don't know. It's just, it truly is like its own beast, like legitimately. So if you're wanting to legitimately like hit TikTok hard, I would get an agency because you don't have the time to like figure out. And I mean, it's very time consuming what they do.
If you were doing Amazon, like you can do Amazon and FBA fulfilled by Amazon by yourself, but there are so many agencies that are so inexpensive, and Amazon has so many rules that if you want to be on Amazon, especially if you have multiple products, just work with an agency. They take so little and they will accelerate your learning curve, and then you can just get back to the thing that is your gift.
Exactly.
And they're mostly performance based, right?
Most of them are sales based, and so let them own your buy box, let them own everything, and just give them your assets and let them run with it.
I think it's so smart. And I was just going to touch one last thing before we leave the inventory topic. There are ways to make lemonade out of bad orders, because we've talked a lot about being short on inventory. I've had the problem of having way too much inventory of certain things that were going to expire. And so I just want to share it really quick because I feel like it's relevant. We had an opportunity to also hear Dr. Oz talk about a colon cleanser. And so we jumped on that. We bought pallets of colon cleanser, and we were like, dude, we're going to run a big colon cleanser campaign. This is going to be awesome because everyone that wants to lose weight needs a clean colon, right? Everyone likes to talk about it too. So what we did is we bought a bunch of that. It sat, and the offers never sold. The conversions were so low. But I will tell you that what we did do is we took the colon cleanser and made that our bump sale. And that was our highest converting bump sale. And every product that didn't sell on its own ended up selling as a bump. And so I'm telling you, your product may be a bump product, meaning as a standalone product, your product might not be all that great of an offer. Sometimes offers are hard to get in front of your right ICP. But if your product is a bump to someone else's offer that's doing well, go partner with them and give them a cut and a rev share on adding your product as a bundle or a bump to their product, because they've got it figured out. Yeah.
Are you talking white label or partner co-brand? Partner co-brands are awesome. So at Choco Tour, we partner with everybody from Warner Brothers to Disney to even a few influencers where we'll collab on co-brands. My take is they're awesome for awareness, but you have to be really careful with how they sell, because if they're a little bit like carbon monoxide. They can steal all the good air in the room because you're paying a license fee, or they're a more expensive, lower margin item. And so we got a little punch drunk on this. Like, we're like, let's release a Harry Potter line, and let's release a Friends line. And, and then all of a sudden we're releasing all these lines, and they all have lower margins. And if they sell higher than your non-co-branded, then your profitability actually goes down. So I love being really intentional with a co-brand because it can put you on the map. Like, people who didn't know about you before. I know this sounds really small, but did anybody ever watch Saved by the Bell when you were a kid?
Of course.
We did a co-brand about a year and a half ago with Tiffany Amber Thiessen. And nobody knows who she is unless you're at least 50. Do you know who Tiffany Amber Thiessen is? We did a co-brand with Tiffany Amber Thiessen, and she was super expensive, but nobody knew who she was. And so we were like, ugh, this is killing us. Whereas like partnering with Disney, really expensive, but everybody knows who they are. So what we learned was, and people keep coming back going, can you do more with Disney? Can you do more with Disney? And we kept that product set really, really tiny because it would be all anybody ever bought. And so for me, I love co-brands, but make sure that they're people are things that your ICP cares about, because otherwise, just signing with an influencer or a brand because they're willing to work with you, if they're not in alignment, you're just giving away money.
Yeah.
And don't do it too big. Otherwise it's carbon monoxide and you're going to kill your profitability. Even though your revenue goes up, your revenue will go up and your profitability will go down.
Yeah.
And you're like, my P&L sucks.
Yeah.
But everybody's buying, Mickey and Friends in our Mickey
Totally.
line. And you're like, it's super stinky.
That's awesome advice. We're about to time. And before we leave, and Trey, you got something quick?
One, just can TikTok Shop work for me? I have a free digital product. Is there a way to do that?
Can you show it?
Well,
How do
sure.
you show it?
You show, well, it's a K-12 school online, so you show a little kid learning on their device.
I think they
Cute
just
little
barely
5-year-old.
launched the ability to do digital products like last week or two.
Yeah, it's super new, isn't it?
Okay.
You got multiple people here that can talk to you afterwards, because I'm not a TikToker.
Yeah. I don't have an exact answer. If it is, it sounds like it's new. I don't know.
I've heard someone do really well with a book, ebook, but I don't know personally.
Well, I love we can go deep on a lot of these different topics, and this is something we plan to do likely monthly, is to have this conversation with other companies and other brands that are dealing with consumer product, because it's a unique niche, it's a unique product set. But Color, if there was one thing that you wanted to share, and I'm gonna have each of you kind of sum up the conversation, what would you want to share with someone just starting who's maybe a year behind you on this?
Yeah. Oh, as cheesy as it sounds, like you can't fail if you don't quit. I had done 5 different products before this one, and it was failure. And then finally I ran ads for this one, and it just like popped off. And so it's like, it is the only difference between you and winning is just the number of ads ran. And whether that's 20 more ads, whether that's 50 more ads, whether that's 100, like now your only job is just to make that number of ads to hit that and that many of products. So I don't know. That's what I wish somebody would tell me, is like, you can't lose if you don't quit.
And Cutler, can I just say, I come here at odd times to the iHub, and I don't see anyone here more than Cutler. He is here before everyone else, and he's usually here after everyone else. And I keep wondering if he might be sleeping somewhere, but he is definitely not giving up on his product. And Cutler, thanks for being here and participating.
Absolutely.
Whitney.
Yeah. Gosh, I mean, it is kind of in line, like it took us like 6 years to develop our product. It took a long time. And then we've had MVP launches. We've done validation process with trade shows. Then we jumped onto TikTok, and it is not like this overnight success story by any means. And we're still just starting, in my opinion, but it's one of those things that it's like, you kind of just try a bunch of stuff and see what hits. If it is very convenient when your product kind of sells itself, like it is, like, I don't know, this sounds maybe out of line a little bit, but this is genuinely the truth, is like, hopefully it's okay to share, but like, I have involved God a lot in our business, and I feel like it's been very heavenly led, and I feel like we've seen doors open that I couldn't have ever opened myself. And but I also have had to do the footwork to see it through. And so, I mean, even if you're inspired to create the world's best product ever, but you don't follow through with it, even after 10 years, I mean, it's literally been 10 years to this day that we've been working on this product, which is crazy. And it's just like, you got to keep going and can't give up. But I don't know. I also think product validation, really as fast as you possibly can, would be great. Like for us, when I actually was literally, God told me to create this product. And that's how it came to be. But day one, I remember calling my brother. I remember calling my aunt, being like, hey, what are your thoughts on this like magnetic hair extension idea? I went to Home Depot and I bought product or like magnets and like the beauty supply store and bought like tape ins and started messing with it. And by that night, my dad had called someone who worked for the headquarters of Nike really high up and was like, hey, my daughter had this like, thought about creating magnetic hair extensions. What do you think about it? Like, should she pursue it? And he's like, holy crap, tell her she needs to patent this right away. Like, and I want to invest and I want to see a prototype in 3 weeks. But day one, I was starting to do like validation, like right away, being like, do I spend my time on this or do I not? And I think that's the thing is like, if you have an awesome product idea, start talking to people about it right away and just be like, is this something that people genuinely want? Or is this going to like lead me down like a path that maybe is just going to waste my time and money? So that would be my thought. And then the very first thing I did was I went to a trade show with all hair extension or a hair extension specialists and hair stylists and wanted validation from people in the industry. And then we got that. And it was like, okay, now we're really like, this is going to be a thing. And then you keep running with it. But that's, sorry, that was kind of long-winded, but that was my experience. So that's my 2 cents.
How many in here are incorporating God in your business? I hope all of you. Yeah, I truly think he really does care about us and what we're working on. And I think he will guide you if you're going down the wrong path.
100%. I like ditto to what Whitney said. So this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think consumer brands are where it's at. No shade to B2B, but there is something so rewarding about selling to a real human who's going to hold a tangible product in their hand and eat it or use it or give it to their kid or put it in their home. Like that is enormously gratifying. Consumers are really smart. If you don't love them, know them, and serve them, and you're just out to make a buck and have it be a transaction, they'll figure it out. And so the more that you can, and I know that a lot of us are like, I just need to find a product, just any product. And that's awesome if that works for you. For me, for the brands that I lead and want to be a part of, it's people who are like staying up until the middle of the night and they can't get it off their mind and they feel like it's divinely inspired. I personally believe you'll have more success even if you're not the ICP for your product, if you love it so much that you can't let it go. You'll figure it out. You will want to fail fast and fail forward. And you'll try to be as smart as your customer. You will want to honor them. I believe that there's like this nothing about them without them. Like you will involve them in every decision that you make. You're not just selling to them, you're selling with them. You're creating a long-term relationship where they'll come back and they'll trust you and they'll value you as an expert. Like that is so much more rewarding than selling a product and trying to exit a company. Like create value, make a difference. And that's what is super rewarding. And I feel like I can say that because I'm the old lady of the group and I've been doing it for a long, long time. You can make a lot of money. It is way more fun and rewarding to make an impact. Like it sounds so corny, but it's really, really true. Like you work for a long, long time. If you're just doing it for the cash, it's not awesome.
Yes. And I've done that. And it really is a poop. And so, yeah, we don't like big poop. I'm going to follow up with Whitney a little bit on not only the divine inspiration, but also the validation. So many people in this room have come to talk to me about how nervous they are to share their ideas with somebody because they don't want them to steal their idea. And that is about the worst thing you could ever do. Chances are they're not strong enough to copy your idea and steal it and do it with as much passion as you can. And so, like, we were just telling Gabby yesterday, like she's doing this amazing queso combination of delicious chip and dip and cheese stuff. And it's like, don't be afraid to talk about it everywhere. Everyone can make a cheese dip, but nobody can make it like you. And no one can do it with your passion and with your backstory. And so don't be afraid to ask other people about what you're thinking of selling with the fear that they're going to steal your idea. There's a lot of men dealing with the problem the color solves. Doesn't mean they're out there starting a business selling the thing that he sells. And even if they were, there's enough market share for him to take the chunk that he can and other people can do it. So that's my last tidbit is don't be scared to share your ideas with people because you need to know if someone's going to buy it. And if they're not going to buy it, then don't do it.
Just talk to people who love you because they'll tell you it's awesome.
Yeah.
Talk to people who will call your baby ugly. Yeah.
Yes.
Like
free online.
The mom test is free. Go check it out.
not ask your mom. She loves you too much.
Well, you guys, please give these three a round of hand. I am. Yes.
Not two.
Oh. This truly is for all of you. Like starting a business is always scary, and starting to sell products online is always scary. Don't be scared. Know that there are mentors who are either a few steps or miles ahead of you who are willing to talk to you, because I think that's why you keep getting sucked into more businesses.
Because it's so awesome.
It is so awesome. The ride really is fun. And so don't be scared to talk to people, and don't be scared to ask people here at the iHub, who do you know that has done X? Because chances are there's someone that we know that has done X really, really well. So thanks again, guys.
Thanks.
All right. You guys good? That was fun.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Great job.
Hey, when you
Oh, dude, you should be on it.
I'm
You're
like,
saying,
oh,
is that your
sure.
bump offer? I was like, it sounds like you're saying
my
bump
bump
offer.
offer.
I know you want to put a link to it.
I
was
It didn't sell as a standalone.
awesome.
Everyone, okay, snuggle. Come on, you people. Awesome, guys.
Looks great.
Excellent.
Thank you.
So have you not tapped into like TikTok at all?
Thanks for participating. You
Okay.
guys.
Yes, thanks for having us.
So
You're the
my
best.
only
Yes.
thought around
Thank you
Oh my
so
gosh.
much.
Area that we don't do at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
would love that.
Yeah, totally.
Are
Are
you
you able to utilize creators?
I'm not really. I live in Drakeford. I'm in Orchid, so I don't come out too often. Yes. And so I don't try not to touch that.
Yeah.
I apologize. I was kind of.
Oh, good.
So we have a product that's traditionally B2B,
Yeah.
but I'm thinking about how it would actually work as a B2C. It's rather expensive. It's a backline. It's a zip line.
Oh.
Well, we do zipline braking systems like they do at Park City Mountain Resort.
Oh, interesting.
Patents.
Okay.
And the problem is we're also experts in the industry, and we're going after the people
problem
that
is-
don't use our product because the accident is a common defect. Two-wheel pulleys don't stop themselves.
Interesting.
We have a braking system that's been stopping people for 25 years with no accidents. The problem is we just don't know how to get it.
And this is the biggest
Interesting.
challenge right now.
I get thrown out of conferences because I'm always helping the plaintiff. And they won't buy me. They won't buy it.
So,
I got 7 patents.
You're kidding.
so here's the biggest challenge. If you buy our product, if it's really commercial, it makes sense. You're putting around $2,000-$3,000 to put a zip line in that place, makes sense.
Yeah.
You put in that backyard, people go and say, I can buy everything for about $500. The difference is that when you use ours, your kids can be able to come home every single day.
Yeah.
Where we see every day people coming and losing. Well, like we just did a case where a guy lost his ability to procreate because he used the wrong trolley.
Oh my
Well, we
gosh.
went ziplining up by Deer Creek and watched the girl fall off the thing.
Yeah, is that right?
So
Nice.
imagine if you're a person that you put this back
Listen, the people who have the space to do zip line in the backyard, the people that can likely afford it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So, yeah, I think it's an interesting. I mean, you don't know until you throw an ad out. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I think that your avatar is very clear. You got a dad who doesn't want to get sued, whether they're going to plan on a zip line or they want to have a zip line.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
that's
They
a
don't-
pretty
they don't
clear
want their
avatar.
homeowners insurance to go up.
Right.
Because they had a poor
well,
problem.
even worse, they don't want to have it so people like you're using without permission. You're still on it. So
I know.
that's
Pillow insurance.
Yeah, no, we had that. I used to do a bunch of big events for Google.
You just,
Teams,
like,
and
slide
I
it
had
on.
these giant Zorb balls, like a bunch of these giant, the ones you get inside of, not just the soccer ones.
Yeah.
And I would set them up every summer for my kids in our backyard. Well, one of the neighbor kids came over, hopped in. The wind, gust of wind came, rolled her over about 20 times. She broke her arm. And I was like,
That was an act of God in my world. That's what we do. We work for Chinese.
That's so
I mean,
funny.
that's the way I would have approached that one.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, fortunately, the parents didn't tell the people how she got broken. So it's just like, hey, she fell in the backyard.
Yeah. Well, our big thing is, I mean, I've been in manufacturing forever.
Yeah.
We can handle the inventory because we'll keep it all in-house.
Interesting.
You know, we could go overseas and have a lot done too, but we'll have in-house abilities if we run out.
Right.
You know, it's just, plus we have a, you know,
Interesting.
with PPE in the industry, it all comes back to us every year for recertification.
If it were me, I'd probably do 2 or 3 different product types. I'd do one that you can add on to an existing pulley system or any kind of like, they're going the cheap route, but you could add the braking system as a standalone and then offer a full kit.
Yeah, I was thinking a full kit.
Yeah.
That's the big thing I was thinking of. Because right now we just sell the trolleys and the brakes, but the kit's cheap enough.
Yeah.
I mean,
All
we
we
have
do
the
is
most
put another
expensive
cable
parts.
on it.
Just a spool of cable.
The pain point seems really easy. Do you really want to risk your kids getting hurt on that fun zipline idea?
Yeah, so
And I
right now our
people buying
ads have
this all
been,
the time.
you see a crash,
Just for that.
and then you have a very enthusiastic father saying, I want to put that in my backyard. And I was going, you're nuts.
Yeah.
And then the argument is describing the product.
Yeah.
That is our advertisement right now.
But I mean, would you go to backyard zip? I mean, there's a lot of zip line gear, backyard zip line. Would you just try? Because they've actually came to me at one
I
time.
totally would.
And just try to.
I would do both. There's a strong B2B play, but there's definitely like a direct consumer. I think would definitely work because people are buying and doing their own DIY stuff all the time.
Well, the next step is our bandwidth.
Yeah.
We just don't have it. I make too much money doing what I do, and so now it's trying to get people to do what I don't do. And marketing is what I don't do.
So here's what you got to do. You got to take that idea, bundle it up, and then come down here. We have an ETA program.
When can I come?
Yeah,
for sure.
See that kid over there? Right there with the goofy hair.
The one that's closest over this side?
Yep.
Talking to, shoot, I lost his name. Cutter.
Yeah, no, that's actually not him.
Whoa, they are similar.
Yeah, I know, right?
They are so similar.
Yeah, they both got hair.
So it's called the ETA.
No, so ETA is entrepreneurship through acquisition.
Yeah.
And Corbin's going nuts over it right now, but basically,
Corbin didn't want to hear what I had to say last time. Now he doesn't know how much I've done since I've left, and he decided he wasn't. So I need to go back.
I'll go talk to him.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
So what he does though is he's putting together groups of student entrepreneurs that have the drive but have no ideas.
Have no idea.
So then they come in as a partial equity partner and they can earn out equity as they actually perform.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
That's what we need.
Yeah.
We need other people.
Yeah. There's some. Hey, thanks, dude.
Thanks for your
Hey, good to
insight.
meet you, Troy.
Yeah, and let's go golfing sometime.
Yeah, I'd love to.
You know?
I'd love to.
So yeah, connect with me on LinkedIn. It's just
sounds good.
Zipline actually, whatever Michael Troy. Basically, Zipline Troy is all. But, because I make trolleys, and so literally Troy and trolley. And my wife has the other letters.
That's so cool. That's awesome. Hey, good to meet you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good job.
Okay, I know you sold it to
Did that go okay?
Yeah, I thought that went great. Here you go, Eddie.
Thank you.